we welcome the Tigers of the University of Missouri. They'll be playing in tomorrow's first regional semifinal, taking on the Nittany Lions, with a match that's scheduled to begin at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Seated on the far right, as you see it, is the head coach of Missouri, Wayne Kreklow. And we have three Tiger players with us today. A senior opposite hitter from Fargo, North Dakota, Kira Larson. A junior middle blocker from Suwanee, Georgia, Alyssa Munlin, and a senior outside hitter from California, Missouri. So it's going to be hard for me to say. Sydney Deacon, and we welcome all of you. Let's start with Coach, some comments about being here for the third round of the NCAA tournament.
Well, we're really excited about being here. I think these guys did a phenomenal job last weekend against two really, really good teams. I think it was a really tough place to play. Having to go up against Kansas first in Wichita, Kansas, and then turning around and playing the host team. 2 nights where there were 7,000 plus people. So it was a really great environment, and so I was just really pleased with our whole group being able to get through that one. It was, again, not an easy draw, and we're just super excited to be back.
We're glad to have you back, and first time back in a regional since you were here at University Park, just 7 years ago. Doesn't seem that long ago. Now, ladies, you weren't here, but let's get some comments from you. Let's start with Kira. What is some of the things that you guys have been feeling and talking about as you head into these matches here? What are some of the talking points from the team right now?
I think the big thing is just like we respect every opponent we play, and we realize that every team you face is in the NCAA tournament for a reason. And I think each week we go in with the mindset of we're only focused on the next team we're going to play. We're not thinking about, okay, if we win that game, who are we going to potentially play? So the big thing for us is like being really focused and dialed in every single practice, because at this point in the season, that practice could be your last practice.
Alyssa, the chemistry getting into this point, how much are you relying on each other to get you through those little tough points in this time of the season when there's things that you can't control? This NCAA season is about things you can't control. You guys relying on each other to get through those things?
Yeah, definitely. I think as the year's gone on, we've really learned to look to each other in tough moments, and it's really easy to get caught up in what I'm doing, what my teammates doing, what the coaches are doing, all that. But as the season's progressing, we're learning to look to each other and really be in our huddle. And we always talk about that, it's about what we're doing and not everything else. So control the controllables, and then everything else, just fight the hardest you can.
As a senior, Sydney, do the upperclassmen take a big role in trying to bring the underclassmen along in these situations too? Is the leadership situation something that you're really keying on as a senior right now?
I think in some parts, yeah, but I think a lot of us, of course, our role as seniors is to lead and is to be role models, but I think our underclassmen also do a great job of also having a part in leading. And so they're a great boost, they help us and stuff, and so I think our part is to be role models for them, but I think they also do a great job of also being role models for themselves and putting input in and saying what they need to say and not being afraid to, but yeah.
We have some folks here in the media room. Open it up to questions from them.
Coach, good to see you again. Believe it or not, I saw the last 2 times you were here. So, and obviously they would have no memories, but do you have memories, and do you use any of that knowledge at all for this time around?
A little bit. It was kind of funny because this morning before the administrative meeting, I was talking with Russ, and we were both trying to remember what teams we played, because this is our 3rd time out here now, and who we played and what years we were playing those people. But yeah, for us, it's pulling up to the building was brought back some memories. We've got in the office a couple of photos hanging there with the team picture out on the front steps, and so we've had some really good experiences here. It's a great place to play, and it's kind of ironic that 3 of our 4 Sweet 16s have all been here, but it's a great place. So again, we're just really happy to be here, and a great spot to be.
What do you feel about crashing the Big Ten party here?
Well, we're obviously on the outside looking in. It's kind of funny how all that worked out. But both Illinois and Michigan State had to go through some tough draws in order to get back here as well too. So, but obviously it speaks to the level of play, and we're kind of the outlier here. But just to be able to be here and get a shot. At Penn State, obviously it's going to be a difficult match. It's a big order, tall order. playing against the #1 seed, but, you know, at this time of the year, you know, crazy things happen, and so we're just gonna go out and give it our best and, you know, see what happens.
Kira, what are your thoughts when you come into this gym, the banners and all the other stuff that they have in the history here, or as a volleyball, as a volleyball player being able to come in here?
You know, when I was at Nebraska, because I transferred from Nebraska, we came here twice, and I think the thing about Penn State is they have so much history and so much tradition, and I think that's something that every volleyball player growing up knows that, and they respect that, and I think when we walked in this gym, it was like, all right, we're gonna be up against a really good component, and they're the #1 team in the nation for a reason, and if we're gonna beat them, we're gonna have to bring our A game.
Coach, for most of the season, you've been running a 6-2 offense. Russ has gone to a 6-2 this year, an anomaly for him. I don't know how much of it is for your program, but it's not the most common. So what are your thoughts on trying to sustain success with that kind of an offense?
Well, what we've been doing actually is we kind of have gone in and out, depending upon who's available, who's healthy, who's playing well. So we did that a lot of the season. At times we stayed in the 5-1 this past weekend. We just made the move to stay in it more. And I think one of the strengths that we've got as a group is we have a lot of options. We have a lot of people that can do a lot of things. And I thought, you know, several matches over the course of the season and over this past weekend, the ability to make switches and move in and out of things really was a big benefit. So, you know, we'll continue to do that. And, you know, for us, it's more of a matter of personnel really than philosophy on system of play, just like I'm sure, you know, these guys are doing that same thing. I'm sure Russ looks at his roster and goes, this is how I think we can be best, given who they've got. So, you know, that's just kind of what we'll done, and that's what we'll continue to probably do tomorrow.
Alyssa, it's more of a matchup kind of question. It's easy to pick out Simone Lee and Haley Washington as the two top players, but there are a lot of other role players, support players, whatever you want to call it. How do you guys, maybe looking at the game plan of how to handle, do you really focus on the two top people or try to focus on the other ones and let the top people do their thing?
I think, you know, for us, it's like, you know, recognizing what they do, like on all scales of every player that, you know, is going to be facing, especially as a hitter. You know, just knowing what their tendencies are, you know, what we're going to be seeing in services so we can make the right reads. You know, Josh did a really great job of teaching us how, and like, you know, really training me and Kayla as middles, you know, how to read the game. So like, yeah, we got all the information, like we know Simone's there, like we don't have to think about that part. It's like, you know, being able to know the situations where she's most likely going to get the ball, and like knowing when the middles have the best opportunity to get the ball. And I think that's the part that like we're going to be really dialed in for, and like that's what we're preparing for, is being ready for those moments and being ready to make the right moves.
Just in terms of blocking, other than Simone and Haley, is there anyone else who kind of gets your attention on the Penn State lineup?
You know, for me in general, like I'm thinking of it, like I know that they're there, and I know that, like I don't really think about the players individually at all. You know, at the end of the day, my block will be there, and you can hint to it or you can hit around it, but like I'm going to do what I'm doing. And I think, you know, that's something that, you know, I'm looking forward to each team. Like I'm really not worried about who's on the other side, but like we're going to play our game.
And Coach, what are your, again, we know about Simone and Haley, but what are your thoughts about the other women in the Penn State lineup?
Well, they're all really good, and they all do different things really well, you know, and every team has, you know, their two, sometimes three, you know, All-Americans. You know, those guys would be All-Americans again. So I think what you've got to try to do is understand that it's going to be really difficult to stop, you know, two people like that. So at best we can hope to try to control them a little bit. You know, but we've got to try to make the other players be the ones that beat us. And they're all quite capable of doing that, you know, on any given night, and that's why they're really good. You know, so I think, you know, for us, you just have to realize that, you know, they're all capable. And we have to do as best that we can to try to defend that. But I do think at the end of the day, sometimes, you know, you get caught up spending too much time worrying about what the other team's doing and not enough time on what we're doing. And so I think our big focus is trying to do what we do well, and to try to force them to have to make adjustments on us. And, you know, they're a big physical team, so, you know, they're gonna get blocks, they're gonna, you know, get their bounces, and we've gotta just be able to refocus when those things happen and not let one or two of those kind of bleed into 3 or 4.
And then conversely, how tough is it to come up with a game plan to stop players who are playing at the level that Simone and Haley have been playing?
Yeah, you know, it's just hard, and I think you just alluded to, you know, coming up with a game plan to stop them is probably not gonna happen, you know, you're not gonna stop them. We wanna try to keep them from having career nights. I think our goal is if we can control them and try to force the other people, and they may be very capable of doing that, and they might. But at the end of the day, I think whenever you play teams with 2 really, really good players like that, is we just have to try to make sure that the 2 of them don't beat us, that if we're not gonna win the match, it's gonna be because some of those other people are gonna step up and play really well.
Anybody else? We have a couple more minutes. You good, Gordon, or you need something else?
I think I'm, okay.
All right, well, let's just get some final comments. Let's start with Sydney here on this end. When you get out on the floor tomorrow, what do you want to see from your teammates, and what do you want to see things going well to know that Missouri is playing well and going to have a great chance in the match tomorrow?
I think obviously we have a lot against us. I mean, we're the underseed. So I think for my teammates, I just want to see smiles. I want to see us having fun and enjoying this experience. I mean, obviously we're grateful that we're here and we're getting to play at Penn State. And so I think tomorrow I want to see us enjoying it and living in the moment.
You going to go down the line on that?
Oh, yeah,
Lisa?
so, yeah, I think, you know, for me, I think the most important thing is, you know, for people to be, you know, excited for this and ready for this, and, like, at the same time, not be so outwardly, you know, focused on what's going on, what gym we're in, and what team we're playing, but, like, at the same time, that, like, cherishing every moment we have together. And I think that's something, like, you know, I've been harping on since the, you know, the tournament started. It's, like, every moment, like, we never know what the next moment's gonna look like, if it's gonna be a big one, a small moment, but, like, just be focused on the next one. So, like, I just want to see everyone, like, really engage with, like, every moment, you know, tomorrow, and, like, from beginning to end, just, like, us all being together and cherishing, like, what we built together.
Kira, same question, thoughts?
Yeah, pretty similar to both of them. I think for me and Sydney, it's a little bit different because this is our last shot. You know, we're seniors, and I think one thing is, you know, let it rip. You know, go for it. Like, if we're gonna get beat, we're gonna get beat going out swinging. You know, we're not gonna be timid. I don't want my team to be scared. I just want them to go out there and just play to the best of their ability and really, honestly, truly let it rip.
Coach, anything to add, or?
Well, I would just, you know, follow along with these guys. You know, we're at a point now where, you know, we've earned the right to be in with 16 elite teams in the country, and that's a really special thing. And sometimes it's easy to kind of lose sight of that when you're in the heat of the moment. You know, that's a really special thing that's happening. And I think, like these guys said, you have to go out and just let it rip. And we talk a lot of times in matches, in practice, you know, if we're gonna go down, we're gonna get out swinging, you know. And as a baseball player, you know, the worst thing you wanna do is go down looking, you know, when you're bad. You know, that's the last thing you wanna do, is you don't take a called third strike, you know. And so when we're out there playing, we're gonna be aggressive, and we may get blocked again and again and again, but we're gonna keep swinging. We're not gonna start tipping, you know, and you just have to go for it. And I think often in these kind of matchups, you know, doing it as long as we've done it, we've seen weird things. You know, you would think, okay, we're going as the underdog. There's no doubt about that. But you know, we were here in 2005, and you know, Tennessee knocks off you know, I mean, stranger things have happened. We're thinking we got past Hawaii, now we're gonna watch Penn State. We're gonna play them tomorrow, and they don't make it. You know, so, you know, who knows? At this point, you know, anything can happen, and so we'll go out and let it rip and let the chips fall.
We wish you all the best of luck. Congratulations on being here, and play well tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll take a little bit of a break. When we come back in about 5 or so minutes, Coach Rose and the Nittany Lions will be here as we get ready for our matches tomorrow. We'll see you then in a few minutes. We'll strike the set and be back in about 5 minutes. Thank you.